Dear friends, Shabbat Shalom and greetings to you all. We've arrived at the fall equinox and we will observe the changing of the seasons. There are those 4 special days in the year that reflect significant change. 2 of them have biblical mandated holidays around them, and one of them has a post-biblical holiday. They are pretty important. Now, many will say that the 2 most important, if you had to pick, would be the 2 with mandated holy days, and those are the ones ushered in by the 2 equinoxes, a time of the year when life is in balance. There's an equal amount of light and dark. We have the choice as to which way we will go. Now, each of these 4 days usher in special energies. The winter solstice is our search for light during the darkest time of the year. The spring equinox is about the triumph of life, its return, new growth. Summer solstice is about loss and abundance. And the fall equinox, where we are right now, represents the link between heaven and earth. Blessed are you, Lord our God, who guides the world, who makes creation, whose wisdom changes the time and turns the seasons. As long as the days of the earth endure, planting and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night shall not cease. Blessed are you, divine presence, who blesses the years. Now, even though we will noticeably see the change in sunlight hours, this is not a time to say goodbye to the sun. But with our opportunity to examine ourselves, cleanse ourselves, and renew, it's actually our ability to reignite the sun and keep it burning within through the dark, cold coming winter. Little darling, the smiles returning to their faces. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say it's all right. Now, the sun is around for us to be able to take in, use it, vibrate to the light while the light gets a little bit less every time. Now, I noticed a really interesting discussion quite recently, and it was about the most valuable currency. And currency, I'm talking about in its primary form as simply a medium of exchange. Now, someone suggested diamonds. They talked about the great diamonds of history and how they're passed on. Now, someone else suggested gold. And these have been the great transfers of wealth and power throughout the centuries, my friends. But there's actually only one real currency, and that is blood, family. And we're at the time of the year to examine our relationships and to fix them with our family. Let's take this opportunity to gather and welcome everybody we know as another type of family, community of like-minded, like-souled individuals in search of unification of spirit, the collective consciousness of seekers in a showing of faith, of love, a community, a chavura, fellowship, expressing our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes that unites us all in this community house of spirit of Beth Ruach. So once again, please do go ahead. Invite everybody you know, physically, psychically, emotionally, spiritually, to gather and share from Psalm 133, the Hine Matov. Come together. Hine Matov. Shevet Ahim Yah. Hine Matov. Shevet Ahim Yah. How good, how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community. Together. And as a community, my friends, let us all spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the entire world. Remember, friends, this is your sending out some of the goodwill we all generate out to the universe, whether it's on the Sabbath or not. Remember, Sabbath, it's not Saturday, it's a day of ceasing, whatever day that happens to be. It's a day to cease your normal activities, spend time with family, with friends, with loved ones. We have that brief chance to both praise and to imitate God, creation, life itself. And what better time than at the change of seasons? Now, we may not always be aware of what's happening, but God is always aware and is always talking to us and always telling us. Just try and listen a little bit more. Let's also take a brief moment now to invoke blessings and healings and renewal for everybody everywhere, for everybody you know, and for the souls and spirits of everyone you know. So think of whoever. Focus on them. Call their names. It's not just for people. It's for our pets. It's for the earth. It is the healing of the world. The tikkun olam that's part of our spiritual genetic makeup. Friends, the world is a work in progress, which is why we are obliged to fix it by fixing ourselves. That's the meaning of tikkun olam, and that's the meaning of this time of the year. Fix ourselves. So let's send some renewal, some healing, some goodwill for Christine, for Bob, for Karen, for Ryan, for Colette, and for Minnie, for Curtis, and for the bee, who I will get the pleasure of seeing again real soon. And of course, my friends, renewal for all of you, because you need renewal too. It is the kindness, healing, wishes, goodwill, and love we all send out. It circles the world, finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care, because the world is a world of spirit, and spirit, my friends, never dies. Me, Shabera, Avotainu, Makor, Ra'a, Evotainu, may the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage. Make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body. The renewal of spirit. Let us sing. Amen. Mishaberach, may he who blessed. Let's all have our spirits renewed. This is the great prayer for healing. Call upon God to heal as he's healed before, because this is how healing is done, by blessings. And let's all heal as we pray for renewal and show gratitude for the wonders that go on in our lives, whether we recognize them all the time or not. Now, this week marks the 50th reading of the year. We're also coming up on the 50th anniversary of Abbey Road. But this is the 50th reading of the year, so there's only a scant few left. So congratulations to you who have stuck with me and who can say they have now read the Torah. We will see real prayers and read about a sacrifice everyone would make this week. We will see the blending of history with liturgy, and we will be confronted by our choice between blessings and curses, and will be reminded that not everything is as it appears, because you know what? You can't judge a book by its cover. Can't judge a fish by looking at the pond. Can't judge right by looking at the wrong. Can't judge one by looking at the other. Can't judge a book by looking at the cover. Oh, you can't see how you misjudge me. I may look like a bummer, but I'm a lover. Can't judge a book by looking at the cover. Now, that was first done by Bo Diddley many, many years ago. Now, this week, we're going to read Ki Tavo, when you'll come. And when you'll come to the land, you're going to make a Thanksgiving offering of the first fruits. We actually see a description of the process of Thanksgiving and the role of the priest. You come to the priest with your offering of first fruits, as recorded in Deuteronomy 26:3. And this is actual liturgy, the first full-fledged liturgy that's in the Torah. And you shall come to the priest, who will be in those days, and say to him, I declare today to the Lord your God that I've come to the land that God swore to our fathers to give to us, and the priest shall take the basket from your hand and set it down in front of the altar of the Lord your God, and you shall answer and say in front of the Lord, my father was a perishing Aramean. So he went down to Egypt and resided there with few persons and became a big, powerful, and numerous nation there. And the Egyptians were bad to us and degraded us and imposed hard work on us. And we cried out to the Lord, our fathers' God. And the Lord listened to our voice, and saw our degradation and our trouble and our oppression. And the Lord brought us out from Egypt with a strong hand and an outstretched arm, with great fear and with signs and with wonders. And he brought us to this place and gave us this land, the land flowing with milk and honey. And now here, I've brought the first of the fruit of the land that you've given me, O Lord, and you shall set it down in front of the Lord your God and bow in front of your God. There we have actual liturgy. So the farmer brings the offering. It's in baskets. He hands it to the priest. He recites the history of Jacob going down to Egypt and what happens there. And then it gets a little bit confusing as to whether the priest put it down or hand it back to the farmer to put down on the altar. But what it does, my friends, is it brings history alive by turning it into liturgy. And then, interestingly, we're told Moses and the Levite priests spoke to all of Israel, saying, "Be silent and listen, Israel. This day you have become a people to the Lord your God." Well, which day? I thought it was the day of the Great Epiphany. And that was the day that I thought marked the point in time. But Moses says it is this day, the day of the disclosure. I'm not sure. Now, Moses then gives this list of incidents that we may engage in that results in us being cursed. Things like making molten images, disrespecting parents, moving your neighbor's border, that is his fence, misleading the blind. And of course, as we have learned, that can be blind obedience, not just physical blindness. The items which affect the weak of society, widows, orphans, aliens. If you're guilty of improper relationships, if you bribe, and if you take or shed blood. These are all the things he talks about. And of course, the big one, Deuteronomy 27:26, "Cursed be the one who will not uphold the words of this instruction to do them." And all the people shall say, Amen. But what this is telling us is, he gives us this little list, but then what it really is, it's all all or nothing. There's no room for being just a little bit guilty. You have to do all of the words of instruction. And the incidents that bring the curses seem like a list of sundry examples of the laws that Moses has given until now. And when you look at it, most of the things that are forbidden are actually uncommon and pretty easy to avoid doing. So the people as a whole will readily say Amen to this list. But then no final curses on anyone who will not support and perform the words of this Torah. In other words, the Torah as a whole. It's this all or nothing business. But if you follow the words, there are blessings, and they're pretty good ones. There's a great life waiting, and this is a realistic recognition of human psychology. Rewards and punishments. But if you do not, Moses gives the list of curses incurred, and they're pretty horrific ones, and there's 12 of them. Now, 2 of them are the same as the plagues visited upon Egypt: boils and darkness at noon. Now, the thought that God would impose on Israel the very same plagues that were used on Egypt to make the Lord known and set Israel free is terrifying. The reminder of Egypt will also culminate in the last curse. The people just got away from Egypt. Now, there's some severe standard type ones, like, you'll betroth a woman and another man will ravish her. You'll build a house and you won't live in it. It's pretty exhaustive and frightening to the people, especially when it gets to, and you'll eat the fruit of your womb, the flesh of your sons and your daughters. Now, this horrid curse actually comes true 4 centuries later during the Aramean siege of Samaria, which is recorded in 2 Kings 6:25. And the great curse, the curse of exile, that's the one still being felt, Deuteronomy 28:64. And the Lord will scatter you among all the peoples from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth. Now, the loss of home, now that's something that the people had experienced on several occasions. And since the destruction of the Second Temple, It's been part of the nation's makeup. And the meaning of all this is driven home in Deuteronomy 29:8. And you shall observe the words of this covenant and do them so that you'll understand all that you'll do. Well, once again, the words of the beginning of the Torah return to the Torah's closing portions. In the Garden of Eden, the woman is attracted to the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and bad because it will bring about understanding. Humans acquire that ability, understanding, when they eat the forbidden fruit. The word does not occur again in the Torah until here. Now Moses tells them that they can use the divine power of understanding for a purpose, for comprehending the meaning of what they've experienced and of what they will do. The past and the future, the miracles, performance of the covenant's commandments are all within human powers to grasp. What began as something taken in violation of a divine command now becomes something positive. Humans are not limited to following the commandments without comprehension. They can use what they took from the divine realm for their own good, for their relationship with God. Yes, my friends, the world is sacred. So is everything in it. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish. Celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom, be well, be happy, be blessed. Share and honor the light and all who live in light and continue to shine. Continue to send everyone you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone and end to terror and hatred. Remember, friends, we are a community. We learn together, we celebrate each other, we love each other. We share this ride together, men and women equally. So let's send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. And please do learn to forgive, learn to love, including yourself. Open your hearts, honor the relationships of your life. Tell those you love that you love them. Take advantage of the time you have. Enjoy the journey. Because we take the twists and turns and the patterns that weave through the fabric of our lives in our effort to grow, to learn, to be, to love. So please do love. God bless you all. Have a fantastic week. A week of love and light, a week of peace, a week of miracles. Examine your intentions and use them to imprint your will on the universe, because we set in motion all that happens in our lives. Our intention, our kavana, our cause, our effect, everything is linked. As I've said, you always have time to forgive and to be forgiven. You have the knowledge of what's good and bad. So acknowledge what you've done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any person you've wronged, and ask forgiveness. Do so with sincerity, accountability, and vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you as you learn to be forgiving and compassionate, because the secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people in the world, just as they are? Can you accept life just as it is without trying to control it? If you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. So do not stop your journey. Keep on dreaming, keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching. Keep spreading joy and goodwill, my friends. Do not follow fear. Follow love. It's always in front of you. And remember to have faith, an unwavering adherence to principle, just as I have faith in the principle of love in all of you. Act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none, defraud none, hate none, cherish all. Honor every child of God, every creature of the earth. May all people know peace in this year, and may you nurture kindness and love everywhere you go. Work to be present in the body. Expand the heart, quiet the mind, because the deepest source of real power lies in your consciousness and your ability to be mindful, to be aware, to be present in all of life's circumstances. Make the most of your time in this life. Continue to touch and transform lives around you. You're never alone. You're forever blessed and have the ability to bring blessings to everybody you meet, health, love, and renewal to everybody you come across. We're all energy, and energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed. Your words, my friends, are your power to transform, to love, to bless. So be generous. Bless others and bless yourself. Love with the heart. We are all part of a greater whole. Embrace love, not fear, forgiveness, not anger, and be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you whether you know it or not. Continue to explore faith and belief, and never accept shame as a natural state. Whatever you feel others have felt, whatever you've experienced, others have too. We share together. We learn together, and we help each other. We are there for each of us. We're each trying to find love and acceptance and support. We all have or could have that special someone in our lives, so find them. Tell them what they mean. And remember, you're never alone on your journey to your promised land. You're being watched out for, so always be kind. Always be forgiving of those you need to forgive, and keep asking forgiveness from those you need to ask forgiveness of. Do not get caught in fear. Forgiveness comes from acceptance, and that brings peace. And peace, my friends, can last forever. So continue examining yourself as we get closer and closer to Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Look at what you're reaching for. Look at what you're making. Are you going for the blessings? Or are you going for the curses? Are you lonely? Are you crying? Are those teardrops in your eyes? Is it bold blues? Is it bad news? Is it a curse or a blessing in disguise? It's the scars that make you stronger. It's the hard times that make you wise. It's the sweet things only time brings that arrive like a blessing in disguise. Clouds roll by, bring the rain. Tears will dry and ease the pain. That, of course, is the great Gretchen Peters from Nashville. Now, there's always something. See yourself, see the choices of life, see the world, start forgiving, start making a difference. Shabbat Shalom, my friends. Have a fantastic week. Celebrate love. Celebrate blessings, and blessings to you all. Take care.